What up? What's happening with y'all, man? I just wanted to, tell y'all that I love y'all, man. I love y'all, and yeah, I love y'all, man. It's hard. It's hard. Like I'm pushing. But I'm staying strong. And I need y'all to do the same. I need y'all to take care of each other, love each other, take care of your mama. You only get one of those. Take care of that beautiful mother of yours. Javon, you first. I'm telling you, you first. You're the oldest. After daddy, then you the man of the house. But you can't try to use that to your advantage. Take care of your mama. You only get one. I'm telling you. But about to go up here, you know what I'm saying, to the gym. Watch Uncle Skinner hoop. See if he gonna get some buckets. But yeah, I just wanted to start recording for y'all, man. Like, I want y'all to know me. You know, Javon, you know me a little bit. Thomas, not so much. But I just want y'all to know me, the real me. Like I ain't know. I'll say the rest for another time, man. But yeah, I'm about to head up to this gym. You know, and I don't want y'all to always remember that he love y'all, straight up. I love y'all. Today is February 7th, 2017. My birthday. I just turned 30, and you know, it's not, you know, ideal. It's not the ideal way that I would like to, you know, spend my 30th birthday, but, you know, ever since I was diagnosed, I wanted to pretty much capture the journey and follow the journey, my journey.
He's the favorite in any room he's in. He really is. According to...
He was always like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Even with our mama. You know my son? His name is Thomas.
My chocolate chip. My chocolate chip.
So no, he's always been like that. Thomas was sneaky and bad. But I think a lot of it stemmed from just kind of the circumstances that we were in, and that we bounced around from house to house for a long time. I guess due to certain decisions our parents made, we really weren't allowed to live with them. I know we went to a shelter for a while, and lived with some great aunts, some aunts, grandparents. So this was all before he was in the 5th grade.
He never really opened up in details about his childhood, about how the stuff that he endured during childhood.
We lived with a couple different aunts. Some we enjoyed more than others. I know one particular aunt, we had a cousin who lived there. So it was a male cousin. Thomas had someone to play with. He was kind of like a big brother to him. Whereas in some of the other houses, he didn't have that. So one aunt, it was pretty much 8 girls in the house, and it was just him. I know he didn't love living there a whole lot for that reason, as well as just kind of some of the discipline choices we didn't necessarily agree with then. And as we've gotten older, we realized we still don't necessarily agree with. And at one point, I don't know if it's because we didn't have anyone or it was just the courts or whatever, but we ended up in the shelter. And for a kid to be in the shelter is rough, because it's like, we know we have family. Why is it that no one wants us? Why is it that no one can take care of us? My dad got out of jail in 97, and I remember Thomas was like super excited. He had his bags packed before everybody else. I think what came with that is a different mindset. On top of him being married with 2 additional kids.
Growing up with other family members and not being treated the same because they weren't, you weren't his biological child, their biological child, so you were treated differently and you didn't feel the love.
During that time, or while he was in jail, he did come to Christ. And with that, he became a preacher. And I remember my dad was super, super strict when we first got there. We were at church 4 and 5 times a week, sometimes more. We were on the usher board. We were the choir. We cleaned the church. We set up the church. We helped with the music. We were there all the time. And then my dad, he had started his own business. And with that, you got 6 kids. That's 6 workers. So the boys were always working after school, before church. I know Thomas and even like my stepbrothers, they wanted to play more sports, but 1, it's 6 kids in the house, you can't play everything. And then 2, it's like my daddy's like, no, y'all need to be working. And I remember they used to be so pissed growing up, Daddy, I just want to play baseball. No, we gotta go do this roof. Daddy, but I gotta practice. No, go cut that grass. I know they used to be so pissed. I mean, now I know that if Thomas could go back, he probably wouldn't complain as much as he did because he appreciates it now. But growing up as a kid,
his body is a prison right now. He cannot function the way he wants to. It's similar to his childhood. Whenever he tells me the stuff that he went through, it makes me think about, like, you were never really free. You're never really free to live life the way you really wanted to. And when you did get the opportunity, when we met, in high school, and you eventually got in college, he got in college, when he was free to be on his own and free to live and go to school and stuff like that. And he got out, went in the oil rig. And then, me and him got together, traveling, enjoying himself, enjoying everything that he's come from and worked hard for. And then to get hit with such a
I met Thomas before I even went to Southeast. We was playing on an AAU team called Showtime, and that's when I initially ran into Thomas.
What was he like?
Always working hard, always had a smile on his face, always trying to help other people. Played ball. He was always been a real down-to-earth, dope nigga though, always.
So could he hoop? Was he good?
Yeah, he was alright. He could do his thing. He was known for his defense. He'll be on your ass.
And he could shoot. I mean, yeah. He was on one of the best teams in the country at the time. So, he definitely could hold his own against whoever.
Thomas, I've been knowing Thomas ever since a ninth grader. While he was a ninth grader, he came and played for me here at Southeast High School, and he's been a blessing ever since. He was a hard worker. He wouldn't do anything. You couldn't tell him what he couldn't do. You know, he wanted to be the best. He always was competitive, and he always did the best he possibly can to be successful.
His smile and his demeanor, like his really calm demeanor and his smile is really what attracted me to him the most. He's one of them people who's like, you know, when you first meet him, especially if you don't know him, it's like he doesn't talk unless he's spoken to. You know, he doesn't have a lot to say unless, you know, you might be able to catch him with the sports thing, you know. And that's one thing is like I was into sports because of my dad and my brother. And he likes a lot of the same teams my dad did, and he actually reminds me of my dad a lot.
Right before ALS, that sounds good. But you know, before ALS, you know, I went to college. I went to Bacone College. We was both on the injured list. I tore my MCL up, and he, I don't know, he always got hurt, so I don't know what the hell he was hurt at the time. He was always hurt. I played football out there, one semester basketball. And we was on the injured list on the sideline. We was clowning all these cats who couldn't hoop. And shit, man, we clicked from there. In January came of 2009, transferred to Langston, walked on to the football team. By the end of that semester, I had earned me a scholarship. Played football up there. Graduated in May of 2011, and then just worked. And then finally, January 25th of 2012, I went out to North Dakota with my friend
Chris Skinner, which is I call Chris his wife, because they're so tight, like they talk every morning. He got him a job working where he was working on the oil field in North Dakota, and he was working out there a couple years and stuff. I was on the rigs for about 2 years, and then my dog, he was struggling. He just got with Gab, and my dog was struggling, man, and I was like, man, let me try to get you on. I worked out there, man, pretty much up until, ALS made me quit, so. I remember he ended up putting his finger, he told me that he put his finger to he moved the pole or something that's like 800 pounds. And this thing that we call the damn bell, it slid down. And he didn't pull his finger out fast enough. And that bell it's all the way still. And it broke it, and it broke his finger right here. And when it was broken, he was contemplating on getting surgery on it because he wanted it to work, because Thomas was really into basketball. He was really into sports, and he wanted his finger to function because that's the way, dribbling the ball, stuff like that. I told my dog, man, I said, man, fuck that finger. Like, you got 9 of them motherfuckers, like, because it looked crooked. But it bothered him that it was crooked, So he ended up redoing it. So then he ended up putting a pin in his finger, a titanium pin, straight down his finger. Thomas had a bad reaction to that. It started pussing. It was, I guess, inflamed. It was throbbing. It was hurting more than it did when he first broke his finger. He got the surgery. They ended up taking the pin out sooner. He ended up going back to work. So his stubborn self is telling me these side effects, like, hey, I feel weak. Like, he just, I said, how's it going out there, babe? He's like, I feel weak. I feel like I'm losing weight, da. So he's telling me these side effects, like he doesn't have strength and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, you need to go to the doctor. My first symptom came in September of 2013.
my wife and I and Chris and Casey Skinner, we was at the airport headed to Las Vegas, you know, just to chill out and celebrate one of our coworkers' birthdays. And we had stopped to eat, and my arm started twitching
like this, like you know how when you hoop for a long time or something, you start twitching and shit.
And so I told my wife and Chris and Cassie, I just stopped him and I was like,
look, like he was eating and like his hands were twitching. And we were like, I was just like, that's weird. Like, you know, I'm like, there's no pensioner. Like, what could this be? Like, this is strange.
I mean, you don't think about like nothing like that when a nigga, like your arm twitch. You just think like nigga drink some water or something. You know what I mean? You dehydrated or your muscles cramping.
So I just kind of, you know, thought about it and just didn't want to worry about it. And, you know, I kind of asked Thomas, like, do you know what's going on? And like, no, they're still, you know, testing and stuff like that.
As time went on, we went back to work. I started noticing that I was losing my grip, you know. Out on the oil rig, we got to swing 30 and 40 pound hammers. And I started noticing, you know, that I wasn't able to grip the hammer as tight as I could while I was swinging. Like it was slipping out of my hand. That was, you know, one of the first physical signs besides the twitching. And then me and Skinner, we used to go to town and play basketball. And
we went to this YMCA and we was hooping. And some clown ass niggas from Philadelphia was they was talking shit. And you know, this is when me and Tombo, we used to hoop all the time, like from days off to whenever we was hooping. But we was hooping and this cat was talking shit, and he went and scored a bucket. So I threw it to Tombo. I said, bust this nigga ass, Tombo. So Tombo was going at the nigga, you know what I mean? He was hitting him and he was doing his moves. But while he was doing his moves, bro, the fucking ball was already going back this way. Yeah, so my dog didn't even feel, you know.
As the months progressed, I noticed I started losing strength, and like my arms and upper body was just weary. Like I had worked out.
You know, most people think pinched nerve. You know, you don't think really a lot unless you know about it. And so he started going to Dr. Beeson, but again, he wasn't really telling me everything.
The suspicion for ALS in Thomas was pretty early for me, mostly because of the experience having seen so many patients. But there's a process involved to figure out whether or not that is an accurate diagnosis.
So one day on his break, one day when he did come back, he was just like, we went to Outback on a date, on one of our date nights. And I remember sitting there eating with him, and that's when when he said this to me, that's when I kind of woke up about the situation, like, okay, this is some serious shit. So what he said to me was, he just looked at me and was just like, I feel like I'm gonna die. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, where did you get this from? Because at this time, again, I don't know every detail about these appointments. So that, like, put a light bulb in my mind, like, okay, Negro, you have to start talking to me. Like, what's going on with you? Why? Like, I would never in the day ever think that Thomas, die. You think, okay, why is he acting like this, depressed or suicidal, or like he's never been that type of person who lets things overwhelm him like that.
Every month, I noticed something slowly give out.
It came to, babe, can you tie my shoe? Can you button my shirt?
He couldn't squeeze a fucking WD-40 bottle. You know what I mean? He had to put two hands on it. Then I noticed him fucking having to use two hands to turn his car key,
And then I started like losing weight. And so all this occurred from September to December. And so when I got home, I got more tests done. And then finally, January 21st of 2014, Doc told me that I had ALS.
So ALS is an acronym that stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. So amyotrophic is an abnormality of muscle, primarily that of muscle weakness. And the motor neuron is the cell right in the lateral aspect of the spinal cord that creates the very first part of every nerve that moves muscle. As that nerve travels all the way down to the muscle to impart the electrical signal, all of that starts at the level of the motor neuron inside the spinal cord. So motor neurons, when they die or they get damaged in ALS, they continue to progress in loss, and they progress in other areas around the initial area of damage. So that's typically why we see weakness that begins in an arm, for instance, or a hand, and then the weakness seems to move up the arm. And it has to do with damage that's going up and down the spinal cord at the level of the motor neuron.
He tells me that he's going to talk to Dr. Beeson. So I was at work and he came. I called him, like, did you go to your appointment? He's like, yeah. He really wasn't speaking and he wasn't answering the phone at first. And
so the doc, once he read the test or whatnot, he asked me to come in by myself, and then he scheduled for the next day for my parents and my wife to come in. So he told me by myself, and I really didn't know nothing about ALS. I heard about it. I didn't know what it did to the body. So when I first heard it, I was like stunned. I was shocked. And I walked out of the doctor's office, walked to the car. I got in the car. I Googled ALS, and I started reading on it. But Doc had already told me everything I was reading. It just hadn't hit me. And then it finally hit me when I went to the car and read it. And
so he tells me, what he has, and he tells me what it is, and I Google it, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, feel like my body just like I just felt like, I don't know, I just got this feeling in me, and I'm just like, okay, Thomas, this ain't it. Like, I don't care what they say, this is not it for you. And so, like, he's on the couch calm, and I'm over here laying on him just crying my ass off, like, and he's over here patting me, like, because come to find out later on, he was in the parking lot of the hospital after he left, and he already had his big old outburst.
I finally told her, and then I called my mom and my daddy, and I told them, like, Doc want to see y'all tomorrow. I didn't tell them what he said, and we all met up there, and he broke the news to them.
We're sitting there in this circle waiting on Dr. Beeson to come in there. And Thomas is sitting there, and, his parents are in there, like, kind of nonchalantly, like, like his mom started getting nervous when she's looking at me because I'm trying to hold my emotions in.
Yeah. My mama, she started crying. My pops, you know what I'm saying, he just sit there and his exact words was, we heard what the doc got to say, but now we're going to see what God got to say. So
Dr. Beeson comes there and starts telling us about it. And, I'm just like, I'm not even listening to him. Like, I'm blanked out. Like, no, like, you cannot take him away from me. Like, I don't care what y'all say. Like, this shit, it just was unreal. Like, it was not real to me.
There is no cure for ALS as of today. Even with our current science, we still do not know exactly, step by step, how the motor neuron dies. That is
So, as some people may know, Thomas was diagnosed with ALS back in January. So we are challenging all of our Facebook and family friends to the ALS Ice Challenge. Yay!
Back in when I was diagnosed in 2014, I hadn't really told nobody except for immediate family and of course the Skinners.
We kept it a secret for almost a year, long enough because my dog, like I said, man, Duce was just born. Fucking bills don't stop, man. You know what I'm saying? Bills don't fucking stop. And my dog had to eat. And at the time, man, we was making some serious money. You know what I mean? We was making fucking around $13,000, $14,000 a month.
In August, we did the Ice Bucket Challenge. And that's how I let everybody know that I had ALS. I kind of got tired of the questions as people seen me, you know what I'm saying? And so Skinner was at work in North Dakota. And he was like, bro, I'm gonna do the ice bucket, I'm gonna do the ice bucket.
I never did the ALS challenge because I thought motherfuckers was just doing that shit, you know, because they posting it on Facebook, you know, social media, whatever. I was like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. You know, because I got a homie that's really going through that shit.
But then he came home and he came up with this idea. And, you know, he started playing there behind my back with all the family and stuff. And then finally, it came out like, bro, I'm not gonna do the Ice Bucket Challenge, I'm gonna do something that matters, that's gonna benefit you. And so, it's like, I'm gonna throw you a basketball tournament, and all the proceeds go to you.
White message ever. When it's a good event, we gonna come to it and we gonna rise up. So I'm gonna let y'all finish with my man right here.
Hey, y'all know I'll talk to first, but I just want to thank everybody for out and making this weekend as successful as it was. And I love all y'all. There we go.
All the shit that I do, man. All the shit that I do as far as this basketball tournaments and the league and shit, it all started from my dog. Because I wanted to throw that basketball tournament, the first ever ALS tournament, bro. I did that for help my dog out. And then the shit just took off from there. So it all comes from Tombo.
It's the best weekend ever. Best weekend ever, man. I get to just chill and relax, watch basketball. You know what I'm saying? The city show love, support. And I don't even have to think about this bullshit.
Thomas Johnson was unfortunately diagnosed with this disease, and a good friend of his organized a 3-day basketball tournament to help generate some funds for his household. What has ALS done for you? Like, what is it? Tell the people what they don't know, because I really don't know what it is, what it's like living with this. What has this disease done to you?
Well, it's pretty much stripped me of my ability to do anything from showering to eating, walking. It's stripping my speech. It's pretty much like, you know, your body is in prison. You tell it to do something, but it can't do it.
The tournament's one of the most important times of the year. Shout out to Skin, because he had a dope-ass idea to put this shit together. And I'm one of Thomas' closest friends as is Skin, but him, I give him a lot of props on that, because he had this idea and that shit got rolling. But this give him a time just to decompress, sit back, not have to worry about what's going on. He love hooping. He come out, people show love, everybody that he done played against most of these niggas already, so, I mean, I know the tournament means a lot to him. He looks forward to it every year, making the t-shirts, seeing all the people that come through, show love, seeing how competitive it gets, because, I mean, it's for ALS and it's a charity event and all that, but niggas get serious.
Out there, it's all love and shit, but y'all don't know what's going on the inside. You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it's gotta be to sit up there and see your peers, niggas that you done hoop with your whole life, niggas that you ain't, and sit there in a damn wheelchair and watch your best friends hoop that you used to hoop side by side with, and you can't hoop no more. You know how fucked up that'll make you? You know what I'm saying? My dog was like, hey bro, I got something for you. I'm like, bro, I got you something too. Like, I got him a jersey. You feel me? A LeBron jersey. He a LeBron nigga. And, you know, I gave my dog $100 jersey. This nigga got me $1,400 shot clocks. You know what I mean? And you know, like, who does that type of shit? You know? And, you know, I don't ask for that type of shit. He don't ask me for shit.
Me and Skinner, we talk every day, and if not every other day, won't go past 2 days. And, you know, just the conversation that me and him have, anywhere from music to sports, like that conversation right there, it keeps my mind off this bullshit that I'm going through.
I don't know, man. It's just one of them things, man. Like, nigga, we so in sync. We so in sync. Like, I don't know how many times I sat up there and I called my dog, and I be like, hey, bro. He like, bro, I was just finna call you about the same shit.
What's happening with y'all? April 3rd, 2015. Just got done dropping my son off at the daycare. Headed over here to the east side. With the homie, Lil Rick. About to go cut some yards. See if my body can physically still handle it. You know? I ain't stopping till it's over, man. Can't quit. So, gotta go out here. See if I can still handle this equipment. Do what I do. But yeah, another day, another opportunity. That's what I've been saying for years. So, definitely gonna take advantage of every opportunity. You know? But, yeah, man. Just want y'all to know I love y'all. I'm still fighting, I'm still pushing. Ain't no quitting. You know? So, it's Good Friday, Easter on Sunday. A little gloomy out here, but yeah, man. Everybody enjoy y'all day. On the other side.
Oh. Look at basketball.
Wake up and take them to school, and then I go pick them up. Just try to keep the burden off the wife. You know, I know my limitations. I'm not gonna put my children or myself in any harm. But eventually, in a couple of months, I'm gonna have to give it up. And I know that. But until then, we're gonna see. Keep on pushing.
I remember he got into like a massive argument with his dad, and his dad kind of like me and him kind of butted heads because he was just like, he felt like Thomas should be driving. I'm like, listen, you got to understand, like, this is the last thing this man can do. So you got to let him just do it. Like, he doesn't do it a lot. He doesn't really go that far. But it's just like, just let him do it. Like, this is the last piece of something he can get up and do. And so that was a tough situation, you know, because I also felt like, oh my God, what if something happens? But I'm just like, listen, whatever happens, happens. And we're not signing up for it, but it's just, he just felt like he had to do it. He had to take the boys to school. He had to do it.
Having all the struggles reversed to where I have to accept the help has been probably, I mean, it's not been the hardest, but it's definitely been one of the hardest. Like, all privacy that I once had is gone. And always having to wait on somebody, or, you know, just wait on somebody to come and help me. It's tough because, you know, I was so independent and used to doing it on my own.
This one, I can leave my hands here. Yeah. Put my hands in here. Make sure the toothbrush is straight up. Set these hands up. Sit them both flip. On each side.
Okay.
Set my hands up on each side.
Okay.
This, yeah. There we go.
From the time I've been diagnosed, there's been a lot of hands helping. You know, everybody don't help the same way. They got their own ways of helping. People text me, you know what I'm saying, with messages like, I'm thinking about you and your struggle, and it makes me be appreciative and not complain. Like, people don't know what them type of messages do for me. Like, help is not just about physical in my situation or financial. Little text messages like that, you know, keep me going. As far as in my home and that who's with me every day, my wife, of course. You know, strongest woman I know. You know what I'm saying? She do everything. My boys, you know, they help me get dressed, undressed, feed me, you know, anything I need that they can do. My mother-in-law, you know, she comes over, she washes the baby and washes out for me. You know, she feeds me, do whatever I need her to do. My brother-in-law, Brandon, he lives with me. Anything I need him to do. My sisters, they come through, they help clean whenever I need it. With my mama, you know what I'm saying? She just does everything she can to keep a smile on my face. Like, she surprised me and took me to Cleveland to go see LeBron. My daddy, of course, you know, anything handy that I need done around the house, he come fix it. I have a support system out in Tampa. My friend GK and Ebony,
They help out in ways that they can help out. You know, my brother and sister-in-law, Rashida and Joe, you know, they help out, you know, with the kids mainly, you know, give us a break. My friend Jelly, good dude right there. He actually was with me every day, you know, helping me out. And he recently had to move to Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, that was not easy leaving Oklahoma City. He did have to make me leave, and I still kind of didn't want to, because I'm like, I know I gotta live my life, but I felt obligated to. I mean, he done so much for me, vice versa. Like, without Thomas, I wouldn't be where I am. I mean, he always kept it a buck. I mean, my mom died and I was on some shit like, fuck everything, I don't want to do this. And he was like, yo, life keep going, man. You got to get a job, you got to. And so when it was time for me to go, I didn't want to go. And he was like, yo, you got to live your life. Like, I'm going to be all right. And
I'm gonna be all right. Like, I don't want nobody's life to stop, you know, because of my situation.
After hearing him say, like, it's going to be all right, it made me feel at ease. But I still talk to the nigga every day, and it was weird for a minute though, for sure.
While I'm doing this, I'm hoping that Taj is not screaming or the boys is not fighting.
That's for Jelly.
Yeah, thanks to J-Lay, because she usually saves the day. Or my little brother.
Yeah, they're playing though.
Which made him sleep in today because he's acting sick.
So you do this usually like before you go to work and stuff?
I usually do this before I get myself ready. I'm usually the last one to get ready. So hopefully I have time to comb my hair or even get myself ready. Because it doesn't always go smoothly. Sometimes if I can at least get his underwear on and his teeth brush. If J-Lay's around or my brothers or
The boys.
the boys help a lot too. They help mama a lot. So when I'm trying to take a shower and the baby whining, Trevon and Teddy can help his daddy
Get dressed.
He can help him get dressed sometimes. Like they just chimed in without us even asking one day. And it's like a routine for them. Like if they see me having to run and go do something, they'll come and be like, Daddy, you need a shirt on? Like they'll check on him. And you know, if his friends over here, his moms, his sisters, anybody's over here. So anytime they're around, usually most people will help me. So it's definitely a relief. A group effort to have them around. I get him up, you know, sometimes gotta use the restroom. Get him up, brush his teeth, wash his face, just make him comfortable until I can get everybody else going. You know, blend his food up for the day if that's what needs to be. Sometimes I usually prep that. You know, I get myself together as much as I can, get the boys up, take the baby to daycare. My other oldest son gets on the bus to go to school. My other baby, he is in preschool, so I have a good friend who comes over every day, and he actually stays with Thomas during the day.
Whenever he needs me to, whether it be by come to the house, whether it be to help watch the kids, whether it be to help just in general, he knows I'm always available. He knows he can pick up the phone anytime and call or text me. That even goes for his wife and his brother-in-law, and also his sisters-in-law.
If I'm not around, he won't wait on me to go to the bathroom or to do anything. He will get up and he'll walk slowly and he'll glide through the walls and the corners of the house. And by the time I get ready to find him, I'm like, where are you at? And I have to go find him and make sure he ain't hurt, or make sure he made it to the bathroom okay. Because sometimes he will kind of stumble over and he won't tell me because he doesn't want to bother me. And I think it's sweet of him, but I want to make sure his safety is first. But he'll do that a lot too. He will want to try to be as most independent as he can.
Mm-hmm. It's the wild now, Jay. All day. And I could have asked to put this remote, but I don't want to. It's just exercise for me. I figured it out.
About this time, his phone is dead.
About 9 o'clock.
He probably has like 20. He probably has like 20 messages.
I said I had to get a feeding tube. I wasn't able to. While eating, my jaw muscles, would get tighter, and I wasn't getting enough food in me. I wasn't getting full, which caused a rapid weight loss, and so I had to get the feeding tube. The thing down in reverse.
With the kids in there.
I remember that.
I was like, oh my God. It just banged straight back and just went right into the tree.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, he did it.
And I've been wondering how I did it because, especially as I got older and I realized you gotta press the brake to put it out.
No, not in them days.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's probably why they did it like that.
Yeah.
For kids, because, it was parked in the driveway.
Yep.
Up the hill.
Yeah.
And then when you pulled it down, it just went right back.
Into the tree.
To the tree. It was a big tree too. I'm like, oh.
I mean, I was talking to Jamie the last time we came out. And, I was going to ask him to feed him too.
I think we need to do it.
Yeah.
So, because my concerns are related to the nutrition and the weight loss, that we need to take advantage of every opportunity, to maintain function. So, so you mentioned that to Jamie last time?
No, he mentioned it to me.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about it, knowing that this appointment was coming up. So, it's here now. So,
I am worried about the weight loss too, and I think that we need to go ahead and set you up and get that tube in and get it done.
So talk to me about that as far as the pain level and the
right here. That's where it would come out.
And the maintenance of it, how long will it be affected?
Those are all important questions. The pain associated with it is, if you have pain,
about 3 or 4 out of 10 people don't. They create a tunnel right there. Infection risk is actually that's about how long the discomfort lasts on average. But you got to remember the reasons why we're doing it. Okay, we're doing it because the tongue is getting weaker and the speech is becoming a little more slurred than previous. So I'm more worried about the weight loss. So, my concerns are right now is that you've had another 5 pounds of weight loss since I saw you last. So now's the time for us to be aggressive and get that tube in out there.
I'm here running for me. We're here now.
Yeah. So we'll call the doctor that does it for us and get things set up and after the holiday. Okay. It's really important. I know we've talked about it, but no matter how much you talk about it, it's still very, very hard. Have a good Christmas. Okay? I'll see you in the new year. I don't think that it's easy for anybody to understand what this is like. Even for me, having seen 1,000 people, individuals with ALS, I still don't have any concept of what it's like to experience it. And I have to remember that on occasion because the science allows me to say one thing, but people who are experiencing and feeling the weakness and understanding what this is, that it cannot be fixed. I think that's not fair for anybody to say they can understand if they've not experienced it. But I can tell you, out of those 1,000 or so patients that I've seen, Thomas is impressive in a lot of ways.
Maybe I can make you like some greasy, cheesy food. You know what I'm saying, Tom?
As you know, I got the feeding tube, and the doctors gave me a formula that was like milk and soy based, and I tried, using it. It's supposed to like help keep weight on me or gain weight. But it also goes against my eating lifestyle.
You hear people with heart disease and cancer and diabetes getting cured from a whole plant-based diet. And we've been going strong at it now for going on, 3 years? We've been going strong at it, especially with him. He's very, very, very picky about even the vegetables that he eats. He went a little harder than we did. I was pregnant at the time, a little later, so it was harder for me to transition. But on the whole, right now, we've been on the path of he's on a strictly green diet right now. Like, he doesn't eat anything cooked. He's on a completely raw produce, plant-based diet. And you know, we go to the grocery store once or twice a week. We get a bunch of greens, and we juice them or we blend them in the Vitamix and we tube it.
I almost cried.
Who?
I did. I was in there shaking so hard.
Why?
I don't know. I was nervous.
Oh, but that's natural.
What about it?
At school.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
But that's natural.
Say that one more time for the camera.
I almost cried. I was in there shaking so hard. I was nervous.
So when you look at this, when you get older, you're gonna know your daddy was nervous, son.
Some men fall out. It's natural to be nervous. That's a big thing.
Daddy's tired.
Is Daddy tired?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Is you fall, Daddy? Fall, Daddy?
Yeah.
My Daddy.
What?
My Daddy.
Okay. Come on. Catch it. Oh, man.
Pick it up, baby.
Come on. You got to throw it to me.
Turn around, throw it at Daddy.
Come on. We playing right now. Come on. Ah. Ready?
Walking, it was a crowded.
No.
Crowded?
No. Start at 8. Start at 8.
It was so crowded.
Yeah.
Then they.
One of the hardest things is the fact that I can't, help my wife out with our boys, and that I can't really be the father that I've always wanted to be to them. I've always dreamed of that, playing around in the yard, wrestling. My 9-year-old Siobhan, it's affecting him a lot harder, because I was around since he was 2, so. Like, he know me healthy. He remember, everything we used to do. But my actual 2 seeds, they've never seen me healthy. I've had ALS pretty much since they was born. And so, the biggest thing, the thing that hurt the most is, I've been robbed of fatherhood, and they've been robbed of their daddy, and I think about that every day. Like, damn, like that's fucked up. Like, and another one is dying and leaving my kids here by themselves, and not going up without their pops. Like, my pops went to prison, and the whole time he was gone, I thought about him and wanted to be with him and wanted to have that father-son relationship. And so, I think about what they'll do and how they'll react and how will they handle it if I'm gone. Like, who gonna actually help them? Who actually gonna take care of them? Who actually gonna look out for them? Teach them the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm not there to steer them and guide them in that on that right path. Best man to get.
Today is the celebration of my two youngest sons, their birthday party, and right now we're at Jump Zone. Little Thomas, he refreshing this place, so that's what's going on. Every celebration is bittersweet. Because, you know, it's good to see the joy on their faces when they're having fun and enjoying themselves. But it's hard to, you know, that I'm not able to be a part of it physically. So it's always tough. Like, I'm always hiding feelings, hiding emotions, trying to stay positive, trying to keep a smile on my face. When inside I really want to break down, but I don't want to show them that.
My son got some tickets from school to go to the OU game. At this time, Thomas was walking. He can move his hands a little bit if you position him. So they're going to the game, and he has our youngest son with him too. And they're walking up the hill. It's real windy. And I had just had Taj, I think, and I asked Thomas, you know, like, you know, maybe I should take somebody with you. And he's like, well, you know, my friend will be there. We'll just meet up with them. Well, they were answering the phone to help meet up with him. So Thomas couldn't get up the hill. He asked the guy for help. The guy was like, looked at him like, you know, I mean, some people don't, you know. Understand. Yeah, and you get it, you know. So they had to leave. And Sharon was in tears because he really wanted to go, and Thomas came home and just broke down. Like, he just ate him up that he could not do this. And that's what kills him the most right now, is like he's not able to function with them like he wants to. And that's what eats him up the most.
Now I was to the point where he randomly cries and we'll ask like, what you crying for? And he's like, I just want my daddy back. I just want to be healthy. And man, like, I try to hold that shit in.
I hope y'all know I love y'all, man. And I love this woman right here too. You've been holding me up. You've been holding me up. And I just want to know.
Wait till you see how sexy that man is. You got it. You got that thing. You got it. I'm clean too, ain't it?
It's Oh, I'm about to break this can.
I want to know, baby, do you forever be Miss Johnson?
Aww. You just bought that from the store.
She said, yeah, y'all. I don't even know what they do.
Let's get a close up on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh
Turn this light on if you want. We ain't got no light.
You open that curtain? Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Man, somebody snap.
You nervous?
Nah, no, man. You feel me? 4 years and a half. Nah.
I think about my wife all the time as far as like how long does she actually want to deal with this, and knowing that it only gets harder as the disease progresses. Like, you know, that's one of my biggest fears, man.
I just have to go, like, I go in the closet and just cry because I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is hard, you know, this is not just hard for me, but this is hard to watch him. This is hard for me to see him, and he'll lay down and he'll be like, oh, this is fucked up, you know, I hate this shit, you know, and he'll just say that.
I can see, like, I observe and pay attention, and I can see, like, her wearing down, like.
One day he looked at me, he just was like, he pretty much counted how many times I got up and did something. He was just like looking at me. I'm like, why are you looking at me? He's just like, you just seem like you never sit down. You know, and it's just like I said, it becomes like immune. Like you put them into your routine every day, and sometimes it gets the best of you, sometimes it doesn't.
I can see her getting tired. I can see it all there, like, but she's still holding it down, like, the best way she can.
People don't get to see the sacrifices, you know, not being able to do things, just little things from like getting off work and your friends saying, hey girl, let's go out to eat tonight. And it's like, oh, I can't come, because you have to think about sitters for your children and your husband. And finding a sitter for an adult is not the same as finding a sitter for a husband. People don't realize the sacrifices that you make with your career choice, the careers that you wanted, the dreams that you wanted to live out, the things that you want to do every day, the things that you want to do as being a couple. I have to get off work and come straight home and pretty much work. You know, it's like I'm cleaning up, I'm cooking, I'm prepping food, I'm bathing everybody, you know, and I'm barely even doing anything for myself.
I, Gabriel, take thee Thomas, to be my wedded husband, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, to death do you part. I, by the authority of Almighty God in the state of Oklahoma, I pronounce you husband and wife in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You may now salute the bride.
He does feel bad for me. He said it to me before, you know. He actually said it to me a couple days ago. He was just like, what if I just divorce you? And I just looked at him like, what?
A lot of times, I want to just divorce. Not because of something she's done or something she ain't doing for me. Solely on the fact of I want her to live life. Like, people try to tell me all the time, you're not a burden. But that don't change the fact that I feel like one. You know what I'm saying? And when she first got with me, like, this ain't what she signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't what she envisioned.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you look at it, like, okay, what have my life would have been if I didn't stay here? What would have been done now? Where would life have been for me? But, you know, when people say, oh, thank you so much for staying, I was never gonna leave my friend, my best friend. You know, I couldn't just get up and walk away. Like, I love this person. It's like, when we got married, Thomas was diagnosed at that point, and he wasn't able to, like, he wasn't able to really dance at the wedding. Like, when we were trying to dance, like, he couldn't really move and stuff because he was afraid he was gonna fall. And a lot of those moments we didn't get to live in because of his situation. And yes, like, I married him with the condition, knowing that what the odds are in that. But you don't look at that stuff. You don't look at somebody like, I'm gonna marry you even though you're gonna die tomorrow. Like, you don't look at that. You look at that like, I'm gonna marry you, we gonna figure this shit out. And then you have your relationship with your husband that is not the same because of the physicalness, and it's not just that, it's just also being able to do stuff together. And then it just, you know, you pretty much wake up every day, you know, and I'm watching somebody deteriorate. You know, you watching somebody die in front of you slowly, like you slowly seeing somebody not able to do things. You know, you like, that's the hardest, overwhelming part. It's like, this guy used to be able to, I mean, he could pick a car up or something. It's like, he can't even lift, you know, he's like, babe, move my hands so I can hold my phone, you know.
I have so many different emotions. So many different outbursts. So many different mood swings. And so it's like, it makes it harder for the people around me. And I mean, I'm guilty of treating people around me and my help like shit at times. And you know, I'm aware of that. And I'm sorry for that. People look at me and the things I post, and it's like, man, you strong, and that's what they see. That's their perception, looking at it from the outside in. When actually, I like, what they see as my strength is just my fight, and that's how I see it. I actually don't think I'm strong, because I know what goes on in between this house, as far as, you know, the crying, the profanity laced tirades, the lashing out from frustration. You know, I'm not always able to control that, but that's a lot of things that people don't see that's not here with me daily.
Sometimes it came to a point where it was just like, okay, maybe we need to live separately, because I felt like it was damaging, you know, our relationship with my kids. And so I didn't want my kids to go through that, you know, and so I started talking to him like, dude, you gotta change the way you talk to us, talk to them, whatever. And so, like, Thomas started realizing that, you know, especially this year has been a big turnaround for him.
One thing about my situation is, like, this is the toughest situation I've ever dealt with. And situations like this reveal who's really with you. It was people that I was riding with, you know, and helping out and taking care of, and like we was tight, but I don't feel like they came to my side or my aid like they should have, or like I would have, like, and that's kind of my problem. Like, I kind of judge what people should do based on how I would do it, and that was one of my problems. So I'm dealing with it.
When they do come around, or they do ask, and people still ask to borrow stuff, cars, money, whatever, and it's just like, I'm like, what the hell?
Some of the people that was close to me, they tell me that they couldn't deal with seeing me like this, and it was hard being around me.
And I would be like, what? Like, why aren't they here? Like, why aren't they coming to see you? And Thomas would tell me, like, babe, like, some people just can't see me like this. Like, you gotta understand that.
I can see how watching this disease deteriorate me would affect somebody, but on the other end, I'm still the same person, just not physically. So, I don't judge as far as that. Ain't no love lost, but I hate that it had to be that way. I hate that the situation is making them feel that way.
When you see somebody in Thomas' situation, it's like people cater to that, like, oh, are you okay? And Thomas doesn't want to be treated like a victim. So here I am doing my thing, and I'm like, I'll check on him here and there. He'll text me, or he'll let me know if something's okay. And people will just act like you just neglected him. And it's like, I'm not. Like, that's just what he wants.
People, family, close friends, having stuff to say. Tell her what she should be doing, what she shouldn't be doing. And it's frustrating because I see how it affects her.
It can hurt you sometimes. It can break you down sometimes. Like, wow, why would that person say that?
What would people be upset about? Like,
most of it reflects, on me, because I am his primary caretaker. As far as like our relationship, if people see you argue, they take it out of context because they look at him as a victim. You know what? I've heard so much by this point, it don't even matter no more. Like, it truly doesn't even matter. And it's like, when you go through all the stuff that we go through, all that little shit don't even matter no more. All the comments, all the things people say, the everything, it's just kind of like, you just laugh at it. Like, me and Thomas just laugh at it. Like, he hears stuff, I hear stuff.
I tell people, no matter who you are, if you're not coming over, helping out, contributing, then it's nothing that you should be saying.
Where are you? Where are you? You say so much, but you're not even here.
She the one who's gonna do that with me. She the one who's dealing with, like, mood swings. She's the one who don't have time to herself.
So I had to tell myself, like, you have to look at it from their point of view. Like, they love this man, and this man is somebody that means a lot to them. So any little thing that's being done wrong, they're going to critique it. They're going to ask questions too. So I had to, like, tell myself, like, let me back up and realize the big picture. Let me not take this the wrong way.
Well, since the last interview, I was walking, so I guess you can say that's changed. I'm strictly a wheelchair now, so my speech has gone a little bit. It's harder to understand me. It's harder to talk, and it's harder to breathe. So it's hard to sleep. Like, sleeping is probably my biggest struggle. because I'm not able to move on my own. So I have to wake my wife up or whoever's, there with me every 45 minutes to an hour. Switch me on my side. Fix my arm, fix my legs, or, my back gets hurting from being in one position for so long.
Right now, he feels like he's being defeated. The ALS is robbing him. He's being defeated of it, and he can't do the things he would for somebody else like he could if he could beat this situation up. If he can fight this situation like he really wanted to, he feels defeated right now. It's hard to be optimistic of the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that he wants to turn around and die tomorrow. It just means that he just feels defeated right now.
A lot of nights I just lay in bed and I can't do nothing. I can't get up and go in the front room, watch TV, cut my music on. So I'm just sitting there thinking and watching my wife and my son sleep, and I get to thinking to myself like, what am I here for? It's just all that life has to offer for the rest of my life. And I've had those thoughts of, I'm probably better off dead. But, those are just some of the things that you deal with, when you're helpless.
This ain't for you. Come on, I get on his nerves. I just want to stand straight. Side ain't looking at me.
Where'd Bobby go? Where's the light skin at? Huh? Hey, baby, he did.
Hey, I saw Chris Jolly yesterday, Rick. And he said he saw you at the weight room.
Yeah.
And he said,
I'm a monster.
He said, dude, no. He said, dude, it looks like you just got out the bed. Do you work on your legs?
I'm telling you, he don't. Did they get the most though? I mean, do good.
I get weary, I get tired, I get frustrated, and then other days, it's cool. Like I'm cool. I really can't explain why. And people see me and they're like, every time I see you smiling, like, wow. And I really don't, I don't have an answer as to why. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me, but I'll be alive if I said that I'm smiling all the time. Like, when I go home or when I go in my closet, you know what I'm saying? I cry, you know what I'm saying? But most definitely, man, some days are harder than others.
I think people should know that. I mean, he's helped me in so many different ways on being a father, how to handle life situations, how not to complain, how not to be complacent. Because that was his one thing when he told me when I left. He said, don't leave and come back in the same position. And I remember when I sent the nigga a message like, yo, I'm about to open an insurance agency. Like 50% of this is because we had that conversation. And he was so proud, like on some, like I felt validated because I know I left and then I'm not gonna come back in the same situation. So
Thomas is living the life, man. He every opportunity that presents itself, Thomas goes after it, whether it be going to Cavaliers games, Thunder games, traveling, going out with his friends, spending time with his children, teaching his children. Thomas is not giving up, you know what I'm saying? He's fighting this, you know what I'm saying? And like I told him, and I sat down with him, explained to him, you know, everybody, you know, people that have diseases, they usually lose the battle because they feel self-defeated.
Yeah.
And I see Thomas is in great spirits, you know. He has his days, he has his ups and his downs, but he knows he has a good support system around him to motivate him, you know, and to help him fight this.
I seen people in the same place 10 years later, man, that shit pathetic. God talking to me telepathic, like it only happened if you let it. I can't spend my whole
Man, if you done been around Tombo, you already, I don't need to tell you shit, you already know. You already know, man. He a soldier, trooper. You know what I mean? Like I said, he a dog, man. Nigga, he gon', you ain't gotta worry about Tombo giving up. No matter if some days you feel like it, you ain't never gotta worry about Tombo giving up, man, because he gonna ride. He gonna keep doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna never give up.
I think the biggest thing people should realize is when you wake up and you're complaining or life isn't going right or you don't get a promotion or minuscule shit, it really don't matter. Like, he would kill to just be able to walk around. With the shit we take for granted is being able to pick up your own water bottle, being able to open your own car door, being able to pick your kids up, being able to run around. He can't do none of that shit. So I would just encourage everybody to have his outlook on life, which is, it's not as bad as it may seem. Because outside looking in, if you come sit down with the man, it's like, damn, that's what you go through? But if you sit down, after you sit down and you talk to him for 15 minutes, you won't even realize what he's going through. He start laughing, he still think he can sing and shit. Like, he an all-around good dude.
People ask me at times, have you seen miracles with ALS? And I will tell you that I've not seen a miracle yet in ALS where I can cure the disease. But I do see miracles all the time. And I will tell you that Thomas is one of those miracles from the standpoint of being able to persevere through weakness and yet still be there as a father, as a husband, as a member of his family, and contribute in ways that maybe he didn't realize he could previously. To me, that's a miracle. And I think that's a testament to who he is, frankly to who his family is, and his friends that have shown such tremendous support.
I want people to know that he's a fighter. He's fighting this. He's not giving up. He doesn't want to give up. He is like, and I tell him this all the time, like, dude, this is not, even the reality of it now, it's just hard for him to breathe. You know, if he's sitting a certain way like this, you know, it's hard for him to just do anything. It's like, I just don't see this being it. Like, I just don't see that taking his life. Like, I feel like I just see us forever living and him functioning eventually. It's just like, so he really is motivated on finding a way to get himself back right. And he says that all the time. He's dedicated to healing himself. Like, he's dedicated to it. And he doesn't plan on giving up. And he's fighting, and he wants to be here for his kids. He wants to be here for me, his family, his friends. Like, I mean, like, I just love his strength in that. Like, you know, it's like I don't know, I mean, you put him outside for a couple days in the cold and he'll survive. Like, he's a survivor, you know, he's a fighter, he's a survivor, he's not gonna give up.
Oh no, I gotta get this. It's all love, it's all love. All right, let's give Thomas another hand.
Good, Mom? Good.
Y'all not good. Is it like good?
How you feel? Tired. You did it though.
We did it.
Yeah, I'm tired, but there's a sense of satisfaction there. Yeah. The biggest thing that I want people to know about me is I wasn't no different or no better than anybody else. You know, I'm not shit. I have my flaws and, you know, my mess ups, and you know, I hear people say, you too good of a dude to get something like this, but you know, it could have happened to anybody. I just, you know, I was handed a shitty situation, and you know, I just have to deal with it. You know, I have to find new motivation every day on top of the ones that I already have, which is my children and my family. It's like I've always been self-motivated, so I have to motivate myself daily to keep pushing and to keep fighting. I see the strength or the motivation that I give off from people around me, people on social media, people that see me out in public, and I mean, it wasn't my plan to, you know, motivate nobody or to you know, inspire nobody. This all started with just, you gotta fight to live for your children. And if it goes the way the doctor says it's gonna go, and this does take your life, then you must set the example and show them, you know, that you never give up, no matter what the situation is.
In life, we face with obstacles. The question is, do you overcome them or do you not? This for my nigga T. No other words. Salute.
He sit at the crib, the shit is insanity. Hate the way that he's been treated by family. Me, I still hang like a canopy. Homie to held me down even when life is so damaging. Really, my nigga, I owe you. Sooner than later, like owe you. Blessed that I know you. Took me to hoop every time he took breaks from the oil. Say it, my nigga, I promise I got you. These niggas fake so they not you. Talented too, man, that boy was a jock. Real as they come, cream of the crop, I think about shit that you done for niggas. Really make me wanna come at niggas. They gotta be some of the dumbest niggas. They just want the bread to crumble, nigga. If you don't hand out, they go ghost. But when you got bread, they want toast. Grateful for shit that you taught me. Greatest father to your offspring. Keep it 100, stay overcoming. Showed me the way, like he a compass. Took me to functions, hoes by the dozens. Started with nothing but ended with something. With hooping, he overly passionate. Every day something else coming in packages. Back in the day we were savages. Giving girls woods like cabinets. Rougher than calluses, smoking on cabbages. Great above average, tightrope life. See how it balances. One thing about him, he always loved challenges. Problems come me to answer like Allen. Cannot explain it, never complaining. All this after the physical.
The craziest question that I get asked is, can me and Thomas still have intimacy? Yes, we can. Like, it's really crazy. I asked the doctor this after I had our first son. I asked Dr. Beeson, so it's like, Dr. Beeson, like, will it ever affect that area? And he was like, surprisingly, no.
So, I see Tombo and he moving slow. His head moved up, and I seen him looking. And I didn't know what the fuck he was looking at. I seen him took his helmet off. He was like, "When you come down, I'ma fuck you up." So I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "When you come down, I'ma fuck you up." So the white boy up top, he pissed. Well, normally when you piss, bro, you tell the floor hands, like, you know, move out the way, because you ain't got nowhere to piss up there, so you got to piss. So you tell them, like, hey, move. Shit, that white boy pissed. He didn't tell him to move, so he pissed on the homie, right? Shit, mind you, this is at 7 o'clock in the morning. We just got on tower, right? So I'm looking at Tombo and shit, and he mad. I know my dog, he mad as hell. He ain't talking to none of them. He mad. He ain't even talking to me at this point. That's how mad he is. So, we worked 12 hours on the rig, man. And, it ended up being a good day, sunny outside and shit. I think we was going to Buffalo Wild Wings. Man, this man remembered that shit from 6 o'clock. And I forgot about it. So I went to the bunkhouse after we got off. I'm at the bunkhouse. And I'm getting dressed. And, we got these scary-ass Canadians. They so non-violent. Yeah. They running over there to me like, "Hey, Skinner, you got to come get Tombo. You got to come get Tombo." I said, "For what?" "He got Aaron in the locker beating his ass." This man remembered that shit for 12 hours.
And me and Thomas would make jokes. I was like, "Move your hand so they can see you move your hand." These kids will like freak out, like, "Move your head back." We be over here cracking up because this kid is over here looking like, "What is he